All right, Troy, let's take a look at your paper MLA format first. You need a space in between your name and the page number. Everything here is good except for the commas. You don't need the commas in there at all. How to get rich off your child is literally the topic of your paper. So I would maybe focus on the 401k. Maybe like the best savings plan a parent can have. I don't know, something like that. So good quote to start off with. Remember that if it goes onto the fourth line, you have to separate it into its own separate quote, so it gets all the lines get two tabbed over. But what I would do instead of that, I would probably take some of this quote out. Um, I don't know. I almost feel like this is enough right here, because this doesn't really have anything to do with your topic. So I don't know. I would think about reorganizing this, and then raising a superstar athlete. Oh wait, sorry. Parents play an important role in shaping pro athletes, as you can see from Chelsea Memmel's quote. And don't put this in parentheses. I would just say from Olympic gymnast Chelsea Memmel's quote, something like that. I would just incorporate that all in. Then, right before that, if you wanted to extend your introduction, make it longer, talk about how important it is to save for the future, and not just save, but maybe even have, be rich as you get older. And there's no better 401k plan than raising a superstar athlete. And then you kind of get into the topic, because it's not really clear that these steps are going to make you rich and famous, right? So I love the set. I love the setup of this. Okay, you make payments for about 22 years and you're set for the rest of your life. This 401k ends in 5 years, and usually 401k there's no. Oh, you do it. Never mind. I said there's no space, but there isn't a space. So the steps are no colon here. The steps are, and I wouldn't use first, second, third. Are genetically engineering your child. What is their youth is a step. Nurturing them in their youth. Continue to develop them in high school. Getting recruiters to notice them and sending them off to the best college they can go to for their future. Be specific, and that would add length to your paragraph as well. This is not a strong thesis, because there's nothing in here about, think of it as, this is almost plot. So think of it more as a theme. So what do all of these things that you're going to talk about have in common? A lot of it is about probably manipulation. I mean, you're genetically engineering your child. I haven't read the rest of the paper, but you're probably manipulating the system a little bit. And manipulating your child. So I think manipulation probably has a large role in that. So just try to break it down that way. All right. So to make the greatest child, you obviously have to genetically modify them. A stronger topic sentence. By genetically engineering your child, they'll be able to ... Okay. So you give a trait for what genetically engineering is, which is good. But some sentence structure thing. By genetically engineering your kid, you can give them traits like no colon, strength, speed, fast reflexes, good vision, high drive. Okay. So good comparison. So I like the comparison to Madden. That's really good. But it's a pretty short paragraph. I feel like you need to add a little bit more onto there. Like, how would it work, maybe? What would the cost be? Bring in your theme of manipulation. Maybe even talk about your wife may object to this, but, let her pick out the eye color, something like that. I don't know. This is a run-on sentence. And be more specific with just raising your kid. It can't be just that. All right, so you need a stronger topic sentence. That's not the strongest topic sentence. So you're going to need one stronger one for that. This is interesting. I wouldn't expect you probably to know this, but most mothers breastfeed for a year. And in fact, I think that's probably the recommended amount of time is a year. 6 months is fine too. But if you did a year, and then you might even say, because of your, whatever. Maybe do it longer. I don't know. You could do that. Now, remember, your quote goes on to 4 lines, so you're going to have to separate this too if you're going to use the whole thing. So with the ... remember, it's only 4 dots if it's the end of a sentence. And if that's the case, this one would be capitalized. So I think you need to get rid of 1 dot in each of these two, each of those 2 ellipses. After 6 months of breastfeeding are over, no semicolon, comma, high in iron, calcium, zinc, and other essential nutrients. There's no need to capitalize any of those 2. Social skills, okay. You also want them to have excellent social skills. Good examples, I like that. Need to play ball. Now, this is interesting. And I know this is true, but you just got done with a paragraph on genetically modifying your kid. You say to be inactive in more than one thing, which is probably what people would say. But what I would counter with is, if you want your child to be a phenomenon, like Tiger Woods, don't you want them solely focusing on that one thing? Or to say, when the kid is young, take him through a series of drills for these, 5 sports and figure out which one he seems to be best at and then focus on that one. I don't know. I feel like you're getting too serious right now, because you set it up as a kind of a tongue-in-cheek paper, but then everything is kind of way serious about it. So I think you may need to think about how you want to present that. This is a run-on sentence, so you got to change that. This is a run-on sentence, but you don't explain Bo Jackson at all. He played in the MLB, and NFL. Yes, he played in it, but he was also really good too. So maybe a little bit more into that. Doing all this help your child transition to high school phenom. So good transition statement as we move into high school. All right, so you talk about media and then Sports Illustrated, but that's all you really talk about with media. So I would maybe change that concept or add a lot more about getting your child's media thing going. So use LeBron on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a junior. I feel like this probably needs to be cited. You say that Cass Tech is the best private school, but you don't have any proof of that. For example, comma. So outside source to prove that. Also can offer scholarships, making it more affordable. On a good workout routine. Lifting weights with speed and agility training to maximize their muscle growth and mobility. That's a really good end. I like that wording of that last part. But see, Troy, just rereading some of these sentences, I think you're going to notice you got some sentence structure errors here. This is a run-on sentence. Giving all them the best gear, like what? Be specific with that. Good quote by Dion. If you look good, you feel good, period. Notice how you already capitalized the I. You should have known that was a period. If you feel good, you play good, period. If you play good, they pay good. Great quote. Remember, the period, though, goes down here, not up there. Here is a run-on sentence, but it's a really funny sentence, and this would work well with the whole manipulation thing, okay? Yes, you want to support them being through all the good games, but ultimately your goal is you want them to make it up to you later. So this is all about manipulation, so I think it would work well. So once they're nearing the end of high school, recruiting will become an enormous part of their life. Weak sentence. Be specific what recruiting is actually going to do to them. All right, I forgot your child was also a 99 on the Madden scale, so through the bad times, I don't think there's probably going to be many bad times in his life. And this is where your voice could come in, Troy. Support them when they score 100 points, and then through the bad times when they only score 98 points. Something like that. That would just add a unique voice to your paper. Okay. This is the biggest decision I realize has ever recruited ever, and they are not wrong. You need a strong topic sentence. This, be specific. So you have a quote. Again, be careful with ellipses. I find it hard to believe that you had to use ellipses here too, because it sounds like it should all go together. Only a fraction becoming a professional athlete. I don't know. Might want to go back and think of a way to maybe exclude so many of those ellipses. But even saying 8 million students participate and only 480 of them will compete at NCAA schools, that's still pretty a small number. So But it's time to choose a sport and university to attend. Now, this is something you talked about earlier. You talked about trying to figure out the best sport for you. But if you're worried about money, then it sounds like the NBA is where they should go anyway, since they make the most amount of money, and they just signed a collective bargaining agreement. They're going to get more money on average. But again, you have a quote that's 4 lines long, goes into the 4th line, so you're going to have to separate this one out too if you want to keep the whole thing. But being more specific will help you. When you pick a university, it's about the coach and success, but isn't it really about how they're going to get you to the next level to get paid? I feel like that's more important. This is a run-on sentence. You have to separate this whole thing out. Men's basketball team gets the Pro Scouts attention. Yes, that's true. Using this information, make an educated decision on which university your child will attend. But with the recruitment, since this is the recruitment paragraph, why is there not a thing about making a big deal about the whole choosing of a hat or a helmet, or having people following you on Twitter and recruiting you on Twitter? I don't know. I feel like there's more stuff you could add in here. That's really what recruiting's all about. All right, so here's the other thing with college. Okay, you kind of already talked about supporting them. Go to every game, showing you care about them is important. So this is a run-on sentence, and again, can we bring in the idea of manipulation as well? But I would think with college, I think your most important goal is to get out as soon as you can so you can start making money. So I don't know. I feel like you can change that. That's a run-on sentence. Kids love getting a batch of their mom's cookies. Be specific. Snickerdoodle, chocolate chip, whatever. Or just a basket of snacks, which will make them feel loved. So weird sentence structure there. Don't want to be overbearing. See, that's a weird, it's almost a fragment there at the end. Also try to get them finished. Try to get them finish all 4 years. To finish all 4 years. Spell out 4, but again, shouldn't they get to the pros fast so they can start making money? And you say they need a degree just in case of freak injury, but they ain't going to make you money, that much money as a, businessman maybe. Run-on sentence. Help you pay you back for helping them. So just a lot of things in here, word choice wise, sentence structure wise, detail wise, that I think you really need to focus on. Really good conclusion. The whole thing is really good, Troy. So no problems with that. Works cited needs to be moved up. These you'll get rid of these since he's not the writer of the whole website. So get rid of that. And then you'll have to move this because it's got to be in alphabetical. But everything else looks good, Troy. All right. Good start. I feel like there's a lot of things you still need to do here to make it the best paper it can be. But I have faith that you can do it. Good luck.